crackers. And what are these? You know, these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks around, where did these people come from? What is this? What is this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, and not whether anybody ate anything or not. They were so busy looking at everything.
Well, you know, well, I mean, we were so restaurant naive. I remember for the swimming pool, we had some sort of a do where we all went. I think maybe you might have still been working there, but it was at some restaurant downtown in PA. And I remember, like, I just didn't know a lot of things that you're supposed to. Anyway, this waitress was kind of mean. Anyway, I had a salad, and she's putting salad dressing on it. And she just kept putting it because she was expecting me to say, you know, that's enough. And anyway, I ended up having soup instead of salad because she just kept pouring it on, and I didn't think that I was supposed to tell her to stop. You know, I just went,
Well, I remember when I was in grade 12, being on the SRC, there was some kind of a community banquet, and kids from all different school SRCs went to this banquet. And I remember they were serving pork chops and salad or something. And I remember the dishes of applesauce sitting out. And I don't know what the hell. So anyway, I kind of people were putting stuff on their meat, and so I just took, you know, and on stuff on their salad. And I remember I put the applesauce on my salad.
Because he did that's the way.
Because when we had salads, they were, you always dressed them. You put mayonnaise and stirred the salads up. And so
Started a new trend.
Hey, have you tried this applesauce on a salad? It goes pretty good, you know.
Oh, we're such hicks back then.
We did all right. We got through it just fine.
One thing I have to ask you, because I was thinking about it the other day, and I'm so embarrassed. I can't remember the situation of where Grandmama and Grandpapa lived when we were kids in PA. Did they live? Where did they live? Were they close to us?
No. They lived, at that time, trying to think about that. They lived downtown for a while in an apartment. Peggy was little.
But they were
Grandma, they probably lived at Auntie Teresa's.
Right. Yes, I do remember sort of that.
Yeah.
But they were there the whole time where we were little kids, right?
They were where? In PA.
In PA.
Yeah.
They used to look after you guys.
Yeah.
You know, if we wanted to go to the fair or something like that, or to a show.
They'd come babysit for you guys. We'd go to the fair one night and go to the grandstand. That was a big thing. That was
grandstand show.
Yeah, go to the grandstand. We'd go to the fair. They'd come look after you kids. So you could go to the fair.
Did you see them a lot? Like, did you see them every Sunday, or?
We saw them quite a lot, yeah.
Because, you know, like, I can't remember.
Not
Can you
necessarily
remember that
every
stuff?
Sunday or anything like that.
I can't remember it at all.
They came to birthday parties.
I remember them for birthday parties. And, maybe that's part of remembering Grandmama at the slap. But I remember Grandpa was sitting there smoking a pipe.
Yeah.
In our living room. I can kind of remember that.
Yeah, they used to come quite a lot.
Grandmama used to slap you around.
No.
Peggy slapped me.
Peggy slapped me.
That's his memory of his grandmama slap.
Our grandmama, she was sort of a lady. She was a pretty wonderful lady.
Yeah, she is.
But you know, when you guys get a chance to get together, the more that you do it and enjoy all the memories and stuff, you know, that's something I really miss with my siblings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, you know, different times I think of something and I thought, you know, I should call somebody and talk about this because I remember that.
So many things.
There's nobody to call anymore.
Yeah.
Marion is a different memories than me because she's 10 years older.
Yeah, so it's different, 10 years is quite a bit.
10 years, so when she was 18, when I was 8.
Yeah.
So, I mean, our memories are quite different.
Yeah, differently.
You know, that's the same thing as Carolyn and I. We're a full 10 years different.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, like, her memories are totally different
Absolutely.
than mine. And when she
Absolutely.
needs certain things, she'll phone me and say, you know, I don't know anything about this. Can you tell me?
Yeah.
You know, like that 10 years, like, I left home at 18.
Yeah. So she was 8.
So she was 8.
Yeah.
You know, that 10 years is
different.
Well, you know, I think we have had the opportunity for whatever reason the last 5 or 7 years.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Because I remember, like, we do a fair amount of that now, where and I don't know what the opportunities are. Yeah.
Well, you know, we get together to celebrate everything, though. I mean, we get together for both their birthdays and at Christmas, for each other's birthdays.
Because it's really fun talking about when we were kids, you know.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know why it is, but it is.
Yeah. Because I know I asked Gerald about something and he doesn't remember. He doesn't remember at all. You know.
Yeah.
So Gerald's what? Three years older?
I'll tell you the story about her and then I'll be finished. But you know, it's like she was raised in France.
As his grandmama.
As a grandmama. And I don't know what, she used to, what was I going to say? What is she, when she came over, in France they had quite a thing going on, and they wanted to get out of there. That's what they wanted to do. So anyways, they sent her brother to Canada because they wanted to. They heard it's a good thing to come to Canada. So anyways, my grandfather sent her son, Alfred, and he came to Canada to sight things around, and he wanted up in Regina. You know, he was, anyways, so when the war came, wait a minute now, I got my story. When the war came, he had to go back. And he was killed. He was killed in the first fight between the Germans and them. But he wasn't a soldier. He was a soldier, but he lived in the trenches.
He was a courier, I think.
Yeah. Anyways, he died there. They didn't find him. They didn't find him. So anyways, where am I?
You're talking about your folks coming when they first came to
Okay.
Canada.
So anyways, my dad, like he sent him before that. And anyways, they came across the Atlantic Ocean. And all of a sudden, the sun was coming up and it came down, you know, right down to the throat. The people, she said, everybody, they were religious in those days. Everybody was around praying. And that was in 1910. And then in 1910, everybody was praying. But what it was is 1910. There was a
Halley's Comet.
Eh? Halley's Comet.
When they were out in the ocean.
It just came right down, and they thought the thing was the world. Everybody was praying.
Everybody thought it was the end of the world.
End of the world? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they saw Halley's Comet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and back then they probably didn't know anything about comets.
Had no clue what was going
on.
Wow.
Well, it came every, 75 years or something.
Yeah.
So it would have been way back.
So I wonder when it comes next time.
Well, it was here about 15 years ago, remember?
Yeah.
So we won't get it again for, you might see it.
Well, it'd been in the mid-80s somewhere. It was
maybe even 30 years ago. Yeah, so you may see it again.
And with grandma, she was raised, their schools was to learn how to sew and things like this, you know. So finally, what happened, her fingers, she was a good pianist, by the way. That's where you guys got from her. Anyways, her fingers were just all got just arthritis. And she couldn't play. But she was a good pianist, apparently.
Yeah, she was raised by sisters in the convent. She went to the convent school from the time she was little, I guess, in their area.
Yeah.
And she learned how to do all kinds of lovely embroidery and all this kind of stuff. This kind of stuff they taught.
And they used to.
And music.
Yeah.
And in France, they went through a lot of things too, you know.
There's a big religious persecution, I think.
Eh?
There's a big religious persecution of the Catholics.
Yeah, in France, yeah.
Is that the reason why they left?
So they had to go to church service. They used to go in different houses.
But it's so weird because everyone there is Catholic.
You know,
So
well, dating back to Napoleon, when they had the revolution.
Yeah.
Remember, they were getting rid of all the rich people and the upper clergy. They were all cutting their heads off, and they had several versions of that over time, where all of a sudden it'd be this strong sort of Republican thing to banish all the privilege of the past.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that would have been part of that.
Yeah. Everything was. They went through a lot of stuff in France, you know.
Armand's grandfather was a wine merchant in France, and I think they had a big frost and the wine really went down. You know, they had big at that time.
At those times, they used to go. They'd go to the bullfights. That was the thing to do. They had it in France too, in South.
Oh, yeah.
That was wonderful, you know.
Well, remember that story from Grandma that Patty Shrey's write that up, where she wrote about the bullfight.
Yeah.
I remember all the different.
When we were there was still a bullfight going on. I forget which time, but when
we
were there, the posters were up from
the bullfight.
So they still did the bullfights.
In the ancient arena, in the Roman arena, that was 2,000 years old. That's where they had the bullfights.
Yeah. Well, such a pageantry, you know.
Well, pageantry, all the parades coming in, all the colors and the bright
picadors and the matadors.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Grandma being such a tender soul going to bullfights. Awful.
Well, and you have your own bullfight or bull story about your dad.
What's this bull story here?
Tell you one more story about my dad.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Yeah. He was in a family. There was 7 sisters and 3 brothers. Count him. There was 10. And my dad was a real devil. Imagine 7 sisters. And they just the things that they used to pull off over there. Now this was in, this goes in, they were close to the border, go to the North American border. And they used to have those exchanges coming in and things like that, you know. But anyways, he wanted to, he was a real devil. He set up a deal with his brothers. He was the youngest of the boys, but he was a devil about it. and so they set up I think it was a train. They were going. Oh yeah, they got set up to rob the stagecoach. Mm-hmm. They used to come in there. So anyways, so he got all set up with his brothers, and he got the oldest sisters. Ma tante Juliette, she was a big brove. And anyways, they got set up, and then they had oh God. Anyways, so he got his brothers, oh God, I'm mixed up with it.
No, I can't help you because I don't know that story.
Well, is that were the girls in the stagecoach? Were the girls in the stagecoach?
Yeah.
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 I don't know that story. So
I think I remember this. So did they pretend to rob the stagecoach?
Yeah.
Yeah, they set up like it was
So anyways, then they got masks on, with guns.
Was it a real stagecoach?
Yeah. They had a shotgun, shot it off the town side. Yeah! Took the horses out and they just zipped out.
So that was pretty wild.
I guess that's pretty wild.
They're lucky they didn't end up in jail for that one.
Probably would.
So how old was Grandpapa then? How old was he?
Oh, heck, I don't know.
Oh, 10 or something?
Well, he was the oldest, he was the youngest of the boys.
Yeah.
And he manipulated things, you know.
Where was he living at that time? Where was he living then?
We're
in Manitoba there.
Was it L'Atelier?
Yeah,
Italian.
Yeah.
And Italian. Oh, yeah.
Where in L'Atelier where the graveyard is full of Jutras.
Yeah, that's Jutras there.
I always remember that vividly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of Jutras.
So, Kay, tell us about your dad's story with the bull.
The
bull? Oh, yeah. Well, I just hated those bulls. They always had a big, sturdy old bulls. They were all running all the time. They're sniffing, wringing their nose. And they always, I just hated them. I was scared to death of them, you know. Anyway, this one that they had, they always had haystacks, and they had a fence built around them to keep the cattle out, you know. So anyway, so I guess the fence was down, and the cattle got in around the haystacks. So my dad went with his dog Bruce, to chase these cattle out, and the bull turned around and faced them.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the dog went after the bull, and the bull killed him.
Oh, dear.
And so anyway, then the bull turned and went. But anyway, that bull was gone the next day. He got shipped for hamburger. But Dad, I guess, was really shaken very, very badly with this. So that was...
Bruce saved his life.
Yeah. But the bulls, they were big, ugly things. I always used to eat... We'd go to school, and cattle would be in the field. We'd go by the fence, and if the bull was close to the fence, I'd just go by like this. Be so scared. I was always scared to death of them.
Oh, with good reason.
Good reason. Yeah. They weren't Ferdinands.
They were joyous creatures. And they say that my brothers would say, all you gotta do is grab the ring of their nose. That'll drop them, you know. Yeah, you know, just down there when he comes out, you grab the ring of his nose. Yeah. But he used to have a stick, maybe so long, with a tip on the end. And they'd click this on with the ring of his nose to lead about to water or something, you know, because they give you that distance between them. Because I guess the nose is very sensitive. So that's why they had the ring on the nose was up there. But I always hated them.
What was the name of that horse that you used to ride?
The one that died when I was riding it, that was Nancy.
Oh, yeah.
A horse died when you were riding it?
Yeah. Yeah, we used to have, she was a horse we had for years. Everybody learned to ride on her, I think, because she was really a lovely, gentle old mare. Anyway, gone out I suppose I was about 12 or 13. I'd gone out to get the cows, bring them home for milking. So I rode Nancy out to the field, and we gathered up the cows and brought them home. And we came into the backyard behind the barns and stuff, and she started to run. But just all of a sudden, she started to run, and then she sort of stumbled.
And you were on her back?
She threw me off, yeah, as she stumbled, because I didn't have a saddle. We never had saddles. And she just fell and lay over, and she was dead.
Yeah, it's a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did your siblings have to say about that?
Frank made a lot of that.
Yeah.
He'd say, anybody had nice horses or something, he'd say, don't ever let her ride them. She rode one to death, you know. But I remember I just cried. I just screamed and yelled, and people came from all over the place. There were guys that were stacking hay, and they were doing all kinds of things. I just went actually berserk.
Yeah.
And they came from all over, and she was dead.
Yeah.
That's pretty traumatic.
One of her colts, not when it was little, but when it was being driven, died in harness. One time they're being driven and died, so it was a
genetic.
But poor old Nancy, that was pretty traumatic.
That's pretty tough for you.
It took a long time to get over that, I'll tell you.
Yeah, no, you think about that for a long time. Yeah.
Oh, Frank used to tease me all the time, you know. I thought my dad walked on water, you know, as far as I was concerned. And Frank used to make all kinds of cracks about him all the time, you know, to make me mad about the old man. And he'd sit at the table and he'd make some remark, you know, and I'd just he'd pay attention to him, but he'd make me mad and then I'd be mad. And
knew what buttons to push.
He knew which buttons. He just really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, anyway, one time at school, we used to have a one-room school, of course. We used to have different parties for Valentine's Day or something that the parents would come.
Yeah.
And there was this one Valentine's Day that Mother and Dad had both come. And they had some kind of a contest that they had to do for this party. And Mother won and beat Dad, you see. And I was really mad. And Frank would say, boy, you sure could tell who's smartest at our house. You know, I'm sure a lot smarter than Dad. I was madder than Dad. Is that awful?
Isn't that funny? I didn't know that.
You're Daddy's little girl.
I was his little girl,
evidently.
No,
that's funny.
Oh, I used to help him all the time. And when he was working, if he was sawing a board, I had to sit on the board so he would saw it, you know, and all this stuff. When he would, they had a cultivator to cultivate in the garden.
Yeah.
Then he put one horse on it. And I'd sit on the horse, like I was riding the horse. I was really helping. And up and down the rows, you know, this would be my job.
Yeah.
But, you know, those horses that we had at home were so smart. I mind you, they were well trained. Mm-hmm. That my dad would sometimes plow. He'd put the reins around him and never take his hands off the plow. And he would go with the, you know, giddy up, or G was turned to the right and haw was to the left. And he would just say that at the end of the row and the horses would do that. He'd never take his hands off the plow. He'd just keep going. And
that's pretty good. Yeah. They're smart, aren't they?
Smart on both parts.
Although you're telling me the cows are smart, so I don't know if I believe you.
Well, they were smart enough that they knew where they stood in the barn. They just go into their own place.
In their own stall, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're pretty stupid, most of them. But anyway, the bulls were the worst. I didn't have nightmares about them because I just hated them.
I could have nightmares just after you told me about them. I used to hate all farm stuff like I said.
Oh, did you?
Oh, Kathy just loved going in the barn and I'd go in there. I just hated it. Yeah. She just loved all that.
Oh, she ended up farmer. There you go. So.
Yeah, there you go. She ended up the right place.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, I should remember going to the farm. You go lots.
Yeah, you used to get there quite lots.
Go to lots of the farm.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember walking through tall grass, just like, oh my God, I'm probably step on a mug.
You were a city girl.
Oh, I just wasn't in me at all. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of cats. Of course, you had to have cats on the farm for mice and stuff. And we'd be milking the cows, and the cats would come, and you'd just
squirt some milk.
Spray the cats like this, and the cats would sit up there and drink all the fun you had on the farm, all the things you did. Yeah.
We have a nice picture of Jossie with Uncle Rod, and he's teaching her how to
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Well,
how's she doing through all this? Is she hanging in there?
You know what? She has done so well. It's unbelievable. But there have been 3 major changes as of January. Kind of one worker who wasn't great is gone. Her diet got under control. And then she is on